All right, first off, let's talk about the TikTok ban. I want to say that when it comes to America, I fully support it. Yes, that's true. I'm a person against censorship, but I fully support the TikTok ban. Why? Because China bans American social media. So it should be tit for tat. Why shouldn't you ban it? Like, if they ban your apps, why shouldn't you ban theirs? Like, what? Are you a lesser? Are you oozing with feminine energy? Are you going to be like, oh, well, you can hurt us, but we would never hurt you? No. If they ban your social media, then you should be able to ban theirs as well. And the reciprocity, in my opinion, builds politeness. Like, people have more respect where they notice that if they hurt you, they lose something else as well. Then they would reconsider, like, do I really need to hurt that person? And if the answer is yes, then, well, they're willing to also get some damage in return. I think this makes for a more civilized and polite society. When it comes to the reason for why TikTok is being banned, though, it's like, it's harvesting data. Oh, goodness gracious, right? Like, the CCP harvests my data. Well, my data is already harvested by Google, by YouTube, by Facebook, and now we're adding the CCP to the list. Okay, I'm going to be extremely concerned. See, like, this is the problem that Western countries are facing. You can't behave like China and then condemn China. Like, you can't actually start creating a culture where harvesting the information of users online is the norm, and then be shocked that people aren't taking geopolitical considerations in mind when using the internet. So this is like one of the problems. A lot of Western nations are looking with envy towards China, and they're emulating some of that behavior. And so, yeah, like the average person is viewing the Chinese behavior as being normalized. And so it's like, okay, well, I already have a desk that's made in China. I already have a t-shirt that's made in China. I already have a phone that's made in China. Why shouldn't I use a social media app that's made in China? Well, it harvests your data. Okay, well, does that Facebook? Does it Google, YouTube, Twitter harvest my data? The answer is yes. Okay, and then, like, so? Yeah, but China is evil. Okay, I mean, I'm not saying it's not, but are you telling me that Facebook is good? Like, right? So, I guess maybe, like, they want the information to be laundered, right? Like, maybe an American company like Facebook gets to steal my data, and then Facebook gets hacked, and the third party gives it to China, and that makes it okay, right? Anyway, this is why I'm a little bit skeptical with this particular reasoning. It's like it's stealing your data. All right. The second thing is the algorithm. Now, this is something that I can get behind, right? If you look at the TikTok of the West, the one that we're using, it's very different to the TikTok that China is using. Like, if you're looking at the Chinese TikTok, you're going to see a lot of wholesome videos, you're going to see educational material, you're going to see what books about economy you should read, life improvement tips. Like, the content that's being pushed, it's actually constructive, wholesome content. When you look at the stuff that's being pushed in the West, it's fat acceptance, LGBTQ stuff. I mean, the famous account on Sitter, Libs of TikTok, has managed to create a significant audience by showing the insanity and the toxic culture promoted on TikTok. It got to the point where the Bin Laden letter was trending in the algorithm. And so people are wondering, is this a reflection of what the American users want? I don't think so, because when you look at other platforms, like, sure, there is a lot of negative and toxic stuff, but you don't get that level of fat acceptance. You don't get that level of liberal insanity. You don't get that level. And so you gotta wonder, is the algorithm not actually pushing for the unhealthy content? And when asked, China refused to actually show the algorithm. And so the question is legit. Right? Like, are they trying to push a negative ideology on the people of the United States? Something that, the Democrats may not be very much against. Like, it is woke culture, right? So, basically, the way I'm seeing it is that America decides to hurt itself by pushing woke culture upon its people. And China seeing that, it's like, well, I mean, if you're going to hurt yourself, we can just amplify that. We can throw some money on it, like, keep doing it. We enjoy seeing you hurt yourself. Why wouldn't they, right? I mean, they're a competitor. And so the algorithm may actually be a justification for the ban. Now, the thing is, though, that I disagree with the way that it is implemented, right? Like the ban itself, the concept of just dictating to people you're not allowed. It's a very modern mindset adopted by a lot of Americans, and this mindset, I think like maybe it has religious roots, I don't know, but the idea that the world is actually perfect, right? Like the world from creation is perfect, and so the reason the world isn't perfect is because people do bad things, and if we can just ban a significant number of things that people are doing, eventually we will reach utopia. So utopia is just one more ban or one more regulation away, right? Like if we can create the world like a theme park with guardrails, everyone is sitting up in a queue, everyone is doing exactly what they're supposed to do, there's no deviation, kind of like a North Korean tour, if you will, then we will reach paradise, right? So one of the things that people shouldn't do is to use TikTok. And so we decide that, no, you're not allowed, right? You pass the legislation, everyone is told from this day forward, TikTok is not something that people can use, and therefore we have reached the golden gates of paradise. We have created the political utopia, and our societies are now better. Well, unfortunately, people don't think that way. The problem is you haven't convinced the people that TikTok is bad. Like, you told them not to use it, but you're not their parent. Like, you're the government. You're a stranger. They don't know who you are. You're a bureaucrat. You're a fat politician that gorges himself on the taxpayer money. You don't have an actual relationship with the person you're trying to legislate. You're not their friend, you're not their parent, they don't believe you want their well-being. And so now the American citizen has contempt for you. They despise you, they hate you, and they want to make you suffer. How do they make you suffer? By doing exactly the opposite of what you want. It doesn't mean that the citizen himself won't suffer, right? Like him giving his actual data to a Chinese company is part of his suffering, but the dopamine rush that he is getting, knowing that he pisses you off, is his entertainment for the day. This is something that a lot of moral busybodies just don't seem to understand how a lot of humans work. But if you decide to force something good on a person, like you think this is for their own good, and you want to force it upon them, what you end up happening is the person now resents you, and they will just want bad for themselves to piss you off. Like when you get angry, when you get upset, that is what makes that person happy, right? Like you're bringing joy into their life by getting upset. And so if you tell them we're going to ban TikTok in order to protect your information, then the person willingly giving the information is going to horrify you, is going to leave you speechless, and that is what brings happiness into that person's life. It's not his data that he probably doesn't care about it. It's your reaction to what you wanted to achieve, and he is showing you that you are a fucking moron. He is showing you that you are a cretin, an imbecile. By trying to force him, you got the exact opposite result. And so a society with people that think like this, a society with people that are willing to hurt themselves just to piss off the moral busybodies, is going to get the moral busybodies to have to reconsider their moral busybody. And they're going to have to reconsider their approach. Instead of just banning stuff, now they actually have to explain to the public, like adults, why using certain things is bad for them. And sometimes they may be successful, other times they may not. Like, for instance, if you're trying to explain to people that TikTok is harvesting your data, but people are making the argument, well, okay, but like Facebook and YouTube does it, what's the difference? Well, then you need to have like a good answer for it, or maybe, like you're not going to be able to ban TikTok. Because they will ask, it's like, okay, why are you banning this, but you're not banning the others? Well, geopolitical considerations. And they will be like, well, I'm not a politician, I don't care about geopolitics. What I do care is about my entertainment. Like, here's another thing. A lot of modern moral busybodies are dismissing the concept of fun altogether. The Matt Walshes of the world, I've seen them do this. Like, they're dismissing the concept of entertainment and fun. Here's the reality, okay? Everything that's fun, well, almost everything that's fun is either unhealthy, immoral, or a waste of time. Almost everything. Like think about it from what I just said, right? Like everything that's fun is either unhealthy, immoral, or a waste of time. And so if you want to create the perfect society, you're going to have to eliminate fun. Otherwise, if you want a liberal society, you have to decide, okay, some level of unhealthiness is okay. What that level is now up to debate. But like some level of people being unhealthy and doing stuff that's unhealthy for them is actually okay. Some level of immorality is fine. Again, whatever that level is up for debate. But like some level of, like gambling, right? Like gambling is immoral. But maybe we should allow it. Drinking is unhealthy and it's immoral, especially if you're an alcoholic. But like we should allow some level of drinking. When you start looking at the picture like this, you can actually discuss on how to create a society for human beings. If you want to look at the picture where nothing unhealthy is allowed, nothing immoral is allowed, nothing that's a waste of time is allowed, then you will create a society filled with misery and people that absolutely despise you and have nothing but disdain for you because they can't have fun. And the reality is that many times when such societies are created, the people in charge, the people that are at the top, they still get to have fun. And that causes even more resentment. And so anyway, I'll probably make another video talking about this new app that's trending, or I'll talk about it on my live stream because it's fascinating, the reaction that Chinese people are having from Americans invading their apps, and the way that the app was transformed is actually very interesting. So come out to my live stream. It's going to happen right after this video, and I'll see you guys there. Take care.